What about the perfect example of self-delusion from our Prime Minister Anthony Albanese on Sky News today with Peter Stefanovic?
When do you expect to sit down with Donald Trump?
Oh, when we have a meeting, we'll have a meeting. And when it's scheduled, that will occur. Okay. We'll see each other a lot in the last months of the year. That's when summit season occurs.
For God's sake, when we have a meeting, we'll have a meeting. I mean, thanks for telling us that. The Prime Minister even called us, being Australia, a significant player in keeping the peace in our region. Have a look.
Australia doesn't, just be passive here. Australia always pulls our weight. And as the Australian Prime Minister, I'll talk up our contribution because we are significant allies, we're significant players in delivering peace and security in our region.
Sadly, the bloke goes from worse to worse, worse to worse. I can't believe it. As I said, delusional. A peacekeeper, he calls Australia. With what exactly? A busted navy, no defence attack drones, a compromised Air Force and an ADF where morale is at an all-time low. I guess if you keep telling yourself something long enough and you keep repeating it over and over and over publicly, you end up believing it. I can only presume defence chiefs are repeating this mantra to the Prime Minister because at the end of the day, you don't want to admit the historical mistakes that you have made leading defence that's led us to where we are right now. Now, Australia could have, as Tony Abbott suggested, bought conventional submarines off the shelf from the Japanese, but no, the government decided not to do that. We had the French deal and we walked out on that as well, instead signing AUKUS, which means many of us won't live to see the nuclear attack subs even in the ocean in our naval colours. I mean, how many defence white papers and reviews do we need? How many of the late Jim Molan warnings do we need about how we can't defend ourselves? How many times do we have to be told we only have a month or so of stored petrol, no reserves of oil? I mean, seriously. I mean, we are kidding ourselves. And the dangerous mood that has settled over Canberra seems to be, well, don't worry, if we really get in trouble, the Americans will come over, riding over the horizon and save us as they normally do. But the big question now is, will they? With this president, who knows, which brings me to Ambassador Kevin Rudd. What a mistake that appointment was, and it was made by Anthony Albanese because they're mates. Sky's Laura Jays is in Washington this week, and she had a Republican pollster by the name of Brent Buchanan on her morning show yesterday. Here is what he told Laura about the non-relationship between Kevin Rudd and the White House.
Donald Trump needs to find an Australian that he likes, or Australia needs to find an Australian that Donald Trump likes and let that person take point, because so much with Donald Trump is personal relationships.
So do you think this is personal? He simply doesn't know Anthony Albanese, or he doesn't like him?
I think he doesn't like the current ambassador, and that's one of the biggest issues.
Really?
He doesn't like him. I mean, clearly Rudd's not the bloke for this job. I mean, here's a couple of people. I mean, we talk about find someone Donald Trump likes who's Australian and get them involved here. Well, here's a couple of people the Prime Minister should start by recruiting. The Visy cardboard king and billionaire Anthony Pratt, number one. Mining billionaire Gina Rinehart. Current and former golfers like Adam Scott and Greg Norman, who both have relationships with Donald Trump. Or suck up your pride, Anthony, and go back to former Ambassador Joe Hockey or even former Prime Minister Scott Morrison. Now, the PM won't do this, of course, but he seriously needs a circuit breaker here, and that is not Kevin Rudd.